What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis coming to y'all with those new analysisplayground.com hoodies. Just got those in stock from me. You can also buy them on Spreadshirt, which will be in the description in the comment section below. But other than that, we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers and what to expect from them as we get ready for the season. This team was a team that was competitive and pretty good throughout the entire season last year, and then they ended up getting a lot of injuries to a lot of key players. Plus, their coach really didn't fit and really gel with the players that they had on the roster. And with the combination of coaching and injuries, they really underperformed and ultimately ended up missing the playoffs. The key problems with this team is we don't know when TJ Warren is going to be back. He is getting paid a lot of money. He is one of their shot creators and scorers, and we just don't even know if he's going to play this season as he is still suffering from stress fracture injury, which means he might miss the entire season again. And even if he does come back, he will be a shell of himself just because that's a serious career ending injury that we still don't even know what's going to happen with him at the end of the day. So you all got to keep that in mind when you look at this Indiana Pacer team, as they may never be healthy this season, but they do have enough talent on this roster to still ultimately make the playoffs. They won't be a contender, but they will be a playoff team, and I guess that's all that mattered for them this season. When you look at Goga Batadze, never really got a role or really had a legitimate chance to be something for this team. And we'll see if he's able to be that this season, as we don't even know if he's going to be on this roster or he's going to come back or what money he's going to be getting. But he is a big that really was interested when he was drafted, and they really liked what he could do at the position that they got him. And now we're going to see what he's going to be for this team. Will he just be a rim running center that can finish? Will he just be a big body that's just going to be a backup third string center? We really don't know, but we'll see what he becomes. O'Shea won't be playing that much to me this year. He is a lone wing that's interesting. He might play 10 to 15 minutes. The reason why he'll get significant minutes is because TJ Warren, we don't know when he's going to be. So they're going to need wings to step up and play and give them depth, and I think O'Shea will be able to do that. Torrey Craig, they brought him over to be a stretch big because he can play the three, he can play the four, give you switchability, give you some type of three-point shot making, give you some type of interruption when it comes to defense, and some solid rebounding for his position. Not the greatest shooter, not the most consistent shooter, not the most dangerous player, but he is a guy that you put out there with the right talent and the right lineups. He can be some type of an impact player, and that's all you're really asking him to do for this team. Chris Duarte, I think he's interesting because he's a guy that can space the floor and give you three-point shooting, give you a little bit of shot creation ability, and give you some type of playmaking. So he's the perfect glue guy that you can just plug into any lineup, whether it's big, long, small, or athletic, and he'll fit right in and just give you good impact and good winning plays, whether it's the pass, whether it's the steal, whether it's just hitting the three, whether it's just moving the ball. You need guys that just hit fits and flows, and I think that Chris can do that. And considering that he's a rookie and he can do that already, gives you an impact player from day one that can be reliable, and that's what you will need from him, and I think he can definitely do it. Nate, we don't even know if he'll be on the roster or if he'll make it. We don't know, but he's still worth mentioning because he's on this roster. Justin Holiday is a wing that they're going to rely on a lot more because TJ Warren injury, so he's going to have to go out there and give them the three-point shooting. He's going to have to go out there and give them some mid-range and some floaters and some transition baskets. He's not going to be a 20-point scorer, but they do need him to at least give them double digits with some solid three-point shooting. And if he can give them space and then hit some shots every once in a while by putting the ball on the floor and just making a shot or a play, he can be a valuable player for them. That's why they wanted him. That's why they brought him in, and he has done that throughout his career. And I think he can continue to do that during this season. Isaiah Jackson will be an interesting guy out of Kentucky. We've seen what he did in college. We don't really know if it'll translate to the league and if he'll really be an impact player just yet. But that's why you have to give them the opportunity, see what they do in practice, see what they do on the court, and then you evaluate what they can do for you as a team as a whole. So we don't really know what to expect from him, as he hasn't even played an NBA game yet in his career. So he's just going to be a guy that we have to watch and see. Jeremy Lamb, we don't really know much about him either, just because he came off that injury and never really looked the same after that. We know that he is a lanky guy that can hit some threes, make some shots, and do some interesting plays. And they do need somebody that can get a bucket for them. He hasn't been the most consistent guy offensively when it comes to getting buckets or even being efficient at it. But just having another guy you can get the ball to and he can do something is going to be essential to this team being good when it comes to having guys that can come off the bench and do that with the ability to shot create. Karis LeVert is the same way. They need somebody that can make something happen. This is a guy that can put the ball on the floor, find shooters, find guys like Goga, find guys like Demonis that can get mid-ranges or hit the dunk or a lob, or even just being able to create offense in the pick and roll, can make the bigs and the shooters and the wings job a lot easier. Plus, he's a guy that can handle the ball too and get his own shot. They needed something like that, especially when they lost Victor Oladipo. I don't believe he's better than Victor Oladipo at his peak in Indiana, but he is a guy that can get you 18 to 20 points plus per game, and that's something that they didn't have once Oladipo went down, and that's something that Karis LeVert can provide for him. He may not be the most efficient guy, may not be the greatest scorer, but he is better than what they had once Victor Oladipo got injured, and that's better than nothing. So you will take it. Caitlyn Martin, we don't really know what to expect from him when it comes to having a significant role, but he just gives them more depth at the guard position, and we'll see what he does this season. TJ McConnell gives them depth at the point guard position. We know that Malcolm Brogdon suffers from a lot of injuries, even if they're nagging or minor, and just having a guy that you can go in, plug in, run the offense, play some solid defense, hit some shots, playmaking, just run the court offensively is just essential to this team being successful. And Malcolm Brogdon suffered some injuries, and TJ McConnell has done that throughout his career. He can continue to do it now. Guys like Cassius and Jakar Sampson, we don't really know if they're going to be on this roster, but they are interesting role players that will still be something to keep an eye out for if they do. Same with Skies and Tyler. Terry Taylor, and also Washington Jr. There are guys that may make the roster, may be important players, but we really don't know. And Edmund Summer, we don't really know if he's going to get significant playing time because they already have guys like McConnell and guys like Malcolm Brogdon that's going to get the bulk of the minutes. So he might be the third string point guard. And if somebody goes down or somebody needs some playing time because of fouls, Edmund can just come in there and give them some size and some type of playmaking and scoring. Even though he might not be the greatest option, he still is a solid player for them, and you would definitely take that. And then to end the video, we're going to talk about their coaching and Demonis, Miles Turner, and Brogdon. And we're not going to talk too much about TJ Warren because, like I said, he might not even play this season because of the stretch factor. So we might not even see him at all again. So when it comes to Miles Turner, he is a huge player for them, a guy that gives them spacing so that way Demonis can operate in the high post and in the post, do his playmaking, pick defenses apart, and have space to be able to do it. Plus, he can give you rim protection and solid rebounding. And still not the greatest rebounder, still not the greatest offensive player, but is still a guy that has been solid, has been a perfect fit alongside this team when it comes to versatility and just giving them utility offensively, even if it's just setting screens, rolling to the basket, or just spacing the floor for other guys to be able to operate, or even in the pick and roll for it to be successful and at its highest strength. Also, we look at Malcolm Brogdon, a guy that is a playmaker, a guy that can hit threes, that can play in the pick and roll, that can set up guys, and can get his own shot, whether that's getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, hitting floaters. Has never been the most aggressive guy. When he looks to attack, he can get you 18 to 20 points every single game. The problem is he doesn't do it a lot. And on top of that, when he does, he always has injuries because of it. So it's kind of a balance where you know that he is an all-star caliber player, but just doesn't have the health and doesn't have the consistency, especially offensively, to be one. But if this team is going to be successful, they're going to need him running that point guard position, giving them two-way play because of his defense and his ability to switch and guard multiple positions. He's valuable and very important to the identity of this team. He's a Miles Turner in that sense where he can play multiple positions, have multiple impacts because of his two-way play. Plus, he's a guy that can score, get his own shot, plus set up other guys, and that's essential to how the team is going to function and how this team is going to play. And when he's healthy, they're very dangerous and tough to beat. And Sabonis, the All-Star, the two-time All-Star. I didn't ever see him being an All-Star when he was drafted or even when he was Oklahoma City. They utilized him different allowed him to play more of a game where he can be ball dominant, and he really delivered, being able to be a 20-point scorer, being a guy that has been a great rebounder for his athleticism and his position, and really has been great. He still hasn't been a consistent dominant scorer or a consistent shooter, especially from the three-point range. Hasn't really added that still consistently to his game at an elite level or even at a respectable level. But those are the two areas that he will need to improve on. Other than that, he has exceeded expectation, has really been the hub and the glue guy of this team when it comes to putting everybody together and getting the best out of them. Him and Malcolm Brogdon are amazing high IQ players that just make guys around them better and make their job easier. And you have to give credit on Sabonis for being a guy that knows what he is, knows what he's great at, and continues to do it and really dominates other matchups. If he gets a switch or a mismatch, he can get a bucket for you. He can find the open holes in the defense and get you a bucket, even if it isn't scoring himself and it's just setting up somebody else. And you need guys that you can play off of. You need guys that you can help guys' job be easier when you don't have other superstars on this roster. You need guys that can make guys' job easier by just getting them quality or easy shots. And all they do have to do is make the play or make the shot. And I think that Malcolm Brogdon can do that, and also Sabonis, and that's what makes them special, is the fact that they're unselfish and not really greedy and basket hungry. They just trying to make the right decision for the team, and having both of them plus Miles Turner giving you space at those positions, plus giving you guys that can really make the right decision because they're unselfish, makes this whole team dangerous because everybody's eating, everybody's playing well, and everybody's, dangerous because of the shooting and because of the ability to put the ball on the floor and find an open guy or just make a layup, a three, or get to the basket. And that's what's going to make this team dangerous under Rick Carlisle, because he has the right pieces for this team to be great. He always has got the best out of teams. He always have gotten better out of teams that wasn't looking as good on paper. And it's all because of his system and his knowledge of the game, making sure people are in the right spots, making sure the right lineups is out there to get the best out of the players that's on the court and to be able to destroy the opponent lineups. This team has a lot of great offensive pieces. This team has a lot of great versatility, and what better coach to tutelage it under to really maximize it other than Rick Carlisle. The problem with this team is lacking another scorer from the perimeter, which would have been T.J. Warren, who would be a perfect fit under this system of what Rick Carlisle usually tries to do, especially when it comes to pick and roll offense. They have all the necessary talent. It would have been great to have Warren too, especially if he was healthy, especially because he is an all-star caliber player too. And this team could have easily been the top 5 team in the Eastern Conference under Rick Carlisle. But since we don't know what's going to happen with T.J. Warren, they will be a playoff team. They will be a first or a second round exit just because they don't have a go-to guy that can get them highly efficient offense by getting their own shot, because Sabonis can get you a bucket, but it really depends on who he's going against and what's the matchup. And if they're trapping and double teaming, it really just, stops him and slows him down, or he's just not as effective until they get a superstar guy that can really give them high quality, efficient, great offense and good looks with role players around them. They're just going to be another playoff team each and every year that's going to be out in the first round or second round. And I can see that happening in seasons to come. But I also do see that happening this season too. I have them making the playoffs. I have them losing in the first or the second round, depending on the matchups and what team they play against and injuries, other teams that they might play against. But if this team is healthy, they should be in the playoffs. That's how I look at them, especially under Rick Carlisle, and they should be fine in that sense. This team do have a lot of talent that they can eventually trade some of their all-star caliber players to get a superstar, but we have to see if a superstar actually wants to go to Indiana, and we'll see if they actually can get one. It doesn't have to happen right away because a lot of these guys are under 30, so they have time to wait this out and play out and see the field. But at the same time, they're going to be stuck in being a good to great team, but not a championship contender or a championship team until this team gets healthy. We really won't know what they are and what they'll be. But at the same time, you'd rather be in the playoffs every year than being in the lottery trying to figure out who can be a superstar when you already have all-star caliber guys already. It just makes it easier because then you just got to find the superstar and just plug them right in and try to put the rest of the talent together to go in for a title. So they in the no man's land where they're always going to be competitive and they're always going to be good, but they're also a little bit far away from actually winning it all. We'll see within 2 to 3 years if they can figure it out and get over that hump. But other than that, they're going to be solid. They're going to be good. They're going to be fun. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be a team that you don't want to play against, especially when they get even healthier. And they are going to be pretty good. So what to expect from them? Playoffs. That's what I see with this team a lot. To me, if they're healthy, that's how good this team is on paper. Other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out. Remember, you can buy merchandise on my Spreadshirt and on my Facebook page. The hoodies are now out. You can buy them through me, not just my Spreadshirt. Thanks for the support, for people purchasing, liking, and subscribing and sharing and helping this channel grow. I love it. I appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow, hopefully. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the weekend.